Okay. Good afternoon again, CDF Michael Rosette.
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to the Montagne Posée Commission of Inquiry. Our mandate is to investigate and establish the truth about what happened at Montagne Posée prison on the 5th and the 6th of December 2024. So my name is Justice Mavedzenge. I'm the chairperson of the commission, and I would like to give the floor to fellow commissioners to also introduce themselves to you and for the record.
I am Melchior Vidot.
Thank you, commissioners. And then on our extreme left is our chairperson our secretary for the commission, Miss Chelsea Albest, whom I will ask in terms of the procedure to administer the oath, and then we can take it from there. Yeah.
Are you a Christian or do you follow another denomination?
Christian.
So if you can kindly lift up your right hand and repeat after me, please.
Yes.
I swear
I swear
by Almighty God
by Almighty God
that the evidence
I
I shall give
to this commission
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, Mr. General.
Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary, and thank you, CDF. So I'm just going to flag a few rules that we adhere to during this process of the hearing. So one of them is that as per your oath, you are required to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. It is a criminal offense to withhold information that is helpful for the commission or to provide information that is false. We also would like to remind you to answer all the questions that are asked by the commissioners. So in some instances, the commissioners may seem like they are asking the same question in different ways. Please just answer the question that is asked, and you answer it to the best of your knowledge. So what you know, you share with us. What you don't know, you also indicate. We ask you to conduct yourself with dignity, including when you are referring to other people in your testimony. We are also bound to respect you and to give you the dignity that you deserve. And to the colleagues in the room, please refrain from interrupting the proceedings. In particular, let us make sure that our phones are either completely switched off or they are on silent mode. Let us minimize moving in and out of the room and doing anything that might disrupt the testimony. So, CDF, what we are going to do is we are going to ask you questions that recognize the nature of your roles as a stakeholder in the incident that we are investigating. I think I'm going to ask you some questions that have to do with your oversight role, and then my colleagues will take it from there. But we may also vary depending on how the testimony goes. Okay. So maybe to begin with, may you just indicate to us the way the Defence Forces is organized at a management level.
Thank you, Justice. I need to press.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
I think it already works.
Okay.
Yes.
the defense forces at the management level, we've got the commander-in-chief, who is the officer. Well, he's the president also, who is responsible for the defense forces. And then we've got, according to our Defense Act, we've got the Chief of Defense Forces, who oversee the day-to-day running and operation of the defense forces. And currently, the CDF is assisted by the Deputy Chief of Defense Forces and the Chief of Staff. And we've got various units where we have commanders that command the various units, such as the Coast Guard, Seychelles Air Force, and the Special Forces unit. That's principally the three main branches that we have. And also for guidance, we are guided through our act, through the Defense Forces Council, which is chaired by the Commander-in-Chief also. That's mainly for policy matters, for the running of the force. That's how it is structured right now.
So the Defense Council is responsible for policy making?
Policy making, yes.
Okay. And that is the one which I think is provided for in the Defense Act.
Yes, that's provided in the Defense Act.
So just for our information and for the information of those that are following the hearing, who makes up the Defense Council?
Well, in 2024, it was made up, the Commander-in-Chief as the chair, myself as the CDF, where I could be the co-chair. It has the deputy, the chief of staff, and the commanding officer of Special Forces, Coast Guard, and Air Force was part, and plus the one HR officer was on the council.
And maybe just for also our appreciation of the work that this council does, are there any key policies which the council came up with in the period from 2020 to 2024?
Well, key policy was particularly some operations that we were doing, particularly anti-narcotics operation, piracy operations at sea. In terms of the land operation, there wasn't much, apart with the change in the Constitution. The 10th Amendment to the Constitution empowered us to work with the police. We had this power to assist the police whenever there was a requirement.
So you said one of the policies is around the drugs and narcotics operation, where you would work with the police.
Yes.
And that is in accordance with the 10th Amendment.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe before we go into that policy, we need to come back to that policy, but before we go into that policy, the 10th Amendment changed your operations, right, as the
Yes.
Defense Forces?
Yes.
Am I correct that it changed? The major change was that you would be involved in enforcing civilian laws?
Yes.
Okay. When this amendment was being crafted, were you consulted in any way as the Seychelles Defense Forces?
Yes, we were consulted.
Okay. And what were your views about that?
Our views was mixed, but in terms of policing at sea and outer island, that was our main purpose for us to be empowered for that.
Okay.
Because in certain areas at sea where we have areas that normally have the same status as at land, or in higher seas where we have our EZ, there are certain acts that was committed. There was no police presence, so we had to empower the defense forces, which had a Coast Guard and Air Force, to be able to police these areas. Even on the outer islands, we have much more presence than the police. And in case there were any infraction or any illegal activities ongoing within the area of the outer islands, then we could enforce that in terms of not just police, but in terms of immigration, customs. So we could enforce these laws in the area where Seychelles has jurisdiction.
Sure. Before the amendment to the Act, the Defence Forces already were already doing such work like what you just stated. Isn't that correct?
We were doing it, but we were losing all the case in court because of that. Because the lawyers brought the case before the judge and saying that the military was not empowered. We've lost quite a few IUU fishing cases for this.
Then now let's go back to your views as the Seychelles Defence Forces, that you perceived the amendment as necessary for certain things. But I didn't hear you talking about the amendment being necessary for you to be involved in operations within, let's say, Mahe.
Well, in certain circumstances, it would have applied, but not all circumstances.
When you, obviously as a defense force, you are a creature of the Constitution.
Yes.
You are created by the
under
Constitution.
the Constitution, yes.
Yeah. And the Constitution in Section 163 says one of your functions is to assist in the fulfillment by the Republic of Seychelles of its international obligations. I imagine that this is something you discuss as a Defense Council. This is something you discuss with your officers. What do you make of that? What is your understanding of that as the Defense Force?
It varies. There are certain areas, because we are members or parties to various military organizations, either on the African continent or beyond the African continent. And we've signed various international conventions related to peacekeeping, related to non-proliferations of weapons, these sort of things, which then we have to apply this part of the Constitution for that. And it's also in our Act, so that we can participate in peacekeeping operations. Currently, we also have our members in various other organizations, such as the Combined Maritime Force based in Bahrain. We have in the in Delhi, in the Fusion Center, where they share on a daily basis intelligence concerning what is happening within the Indian Ocean. So that's the purpose, I think, this clause was put into the Constitution and to the Act.
I think you are correct, but apart from the obligation of Seychelles to provide military assistance, which you have described, do you also think that Seychelles as a republic has an obligation to uphold human rights?
Yes, it's an area which we have discussed. We are trained, officers are trained in human rights and law of armed conflict.
So you can say your officers are trained to understand human rights so much that when they engage in operations, they conduct themselves consistent with human rights standards?
It depends on the level.
Okay.
The commissioned officers are trained and were very well versed, but probably on a lower level, talking of young privates, corporal, they might understand it, but not in a total manner like a commissioned officer. But normally you would have a commissioned officer with the troops guiding them on what they can do and what they cannot do.
I hear you on that. Then I also noticed that in the Defence Forces Act, particularly Section 12, it it allows the president, who is the commander-in-chief of SDF, to delegate any of his functions
Yes.
to the CDF, and other officers.
Officers, yes.
Right, and it also says to anyone who holds any office in the
Yes.
SDF. Can you tell us how that? I know you are not the commander-in-chief,
Yeah.
but in your experience of working with different commanders-in-chief, how does that delegation happen? Like, how is it operationalized?
Well, normally it would be either a written or verbal delegation, which he can do. Depending on any situation that arises, he's allowed to give instruction for that.
I'm particularly interested in, or maybe let me just ask a direct question. So when the commander-in-chief wants to delegate functions,
Yes.
and the law says he or she can delegate those functions
Yes.
to any holder of the office. So suppose the commander-in-chief delegates a function to a commander of a unit.
Yes.
Are you informed when they do so?
Not all the time. Sometimes it might be direct to me, or sometimes he might probably give instruction directly to a commander below.
So you are saying it is possible that the commander-in-chief can give an instruction to a commander of a unit,
Yes.
and you
I'm not aware.
are not informed.
Yes. Because he has the prerogative of doing it.
In your opinion, is there any danger with that?
Yes.
Is there anything inconsistent with
It is.
best practice?
It does poses a problem for best practices, because military normally we work by hierarchy. It comes from top to down hierarchy.
You work by hierarchy,
Yes.
and also you, when we started the hearing, you indicated that ordinarily you are in charge of the
Yes.
day-to-day management and
Yes.
operations of
Yes, but sometimes it does happen that the commander-in-chief, as I mentioned, could delegate to other officers without going through.
and you or anyone who occupies the office of CDF is a trained soldier
Yes,
with experience.
with experience.
And it's possible that a president with no military training or experience can be elected
Yes,
to become commander-in-chief.
yes, because the president is a civilian, he's not a military. So the military is under command of a civilian.
Which is fine, but I'm looking at the law, the Defense Forces Act, which says the commander-in-chief can delegate functions
Yes,
to anyone.
yes.
And you said there is no obligation on the commander-in-chief to inform you when they do so.
Yes.
So suppose we get a president who is not trained as a soldier. Can they understand the need or the fact that the military works according to hierarchy?
Yes.
Okay.
We have-
How do they understand
Well,
that?
through the council.
Okay.
The council, CDF, is also an advisor to the commander-in-chief. Normally we give him certain briefing
Okay.
how the military work. But then, as I mentioned, it's his prerogative to,
To follow that or not?
he can follow it or not follow the order, because it's in the law gives him he's empowered to go to lower officers and talk to them and give them directives.
But the CDF has an obligation to advise the
Yes,
commander-in-chief
commander,
that
yes.
the correct thing to do is to
Yeah.
inform the
Inform
CDF,
CDF, yes.
when you have delegated functions
Yes.
to any unit.
Yeah, that's correct.
In the period that we are investigating, which is 5 and 6 December 2024, did you have any, and perhaps without divulging operations that are sensitive for national security, but are there any delegations that were done to other military officers which you were not aware of, or you were not informed? You obviously became aware of it, but you were not informed.
Yes, there was.
Okay, what was one of them?
But
Or some of them?
I don't want, because it's ongoing, certain cases that are ongoing, so I don't want to
Okay.
mention it, but I can,
You can mention them maybe off camera.
off camera, I can mention.
Okay. Secretary, maybe you may take note and remember to indicate the question so that when we get into the off-camera session, we may go back to that. Okay. Let's look at the... let's go back to the Defense Council that you indicated earlier on. And did this council, because the law says the council is there to deal with any matter, including policy, which is what you mentioned, but the council can deal with any matter that affects or that involves the Seychelles Defense Forces. So after 6 December 2024, did the Defense Council meet to discuss anything to do with the operation that was conducted at Montagne Posée prison?
No, we did not.
You did not. Before 5 December 2024, did the Defense Council meet to discuss anything to do with interventions at Montagne Posée?
No.
No, you did not. Okay, but you met and you had a policy on
Yes.
dealing with narcotics and drugs.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what that policy involved?
Well, the policy for us was to try to apprehend anyone doing narco trafficking in the waters of Seychelles. And the part that was on land that was kept to the other team that was at State House. They were not taking any orders from the defense headquarters.
Okay.
And we had other policies like setting up of certain...
Maybe before you go further, sorry to interrupt you, because there's a point you made that we just want to make sure we understand. You said as part of this policy there was a unit, a military unit, that was based at State House,
Yes.
which was not taking any orders from the headquarters.
Yes.
So which means this unit was not taking orders from you
Yes.
or any of your colleagues. Yes. Who were they taking orders from?
Well, they had an officer in charge there of the unit.
Who is the officer in charge?
Well, I can't mention the
You
name.
can't mention
but
the
I
name. You can mention
You can mention
off camera.
Yes.
So, Secretary, please note that. But are you aware of who that? Okay, first, was this person a military officer, or maybe you can't answer that again?
Well, he was at a certain time.
At a certain time.
Yes.
But who was the ultimate authority? Because it's a military unit, so there must be...
No, it was a mixed unit, not purely military.
Was the commander-in-chief responsible for this unit?
Yes.
Was he the ultimate authority on this unit?
Well, yes.
Why do you say so?
Well, because the people were working there. If it works under the presidential unit, then it's under the responsibility.
Okay.
It still has certain function to play.
Okay.
When you say it didn't consist of only military personnel, so there were civilians in that unit?
Police.
Pardon?
Police officers.
Police, okay.
Police.
Okay.
It was a mixed unit.
Were there any concerns that were raised by the SDF SDF headquarters regarding that arrangement, where there is a unit which is basically a military unit, but that does not report to the CDF?
Yes.
What were some of the concerns that you raised?
Well, the concern was our manpower limit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Manpower limit.
yeah, that was our main.
Any other concern?
Well, there were other concerns which I cannot
We cannot-
publicly.
But can I just also ask if there were any, because we've taken evidence here where some of the witness says the military did this, right? In fact, most of the people don't say the military and the police, say the military did this. So would you have been concerned at that time that you have a unit that is carrying military operations in the name of the military, but is not accountable to you?
Yes, that's
And
a
therefore,
concern.
whatever it does is unfortunately attributed to the military.
It's a concern because finally, if you look at the hierarchy, then it would still, if anything goes wrong, I'm still also responsible for it.
Have you expressed some concern to the authorities that this should not be the manner in which they should be operating?
Well, we didn't raise any concern for that, but internally we knew it was.
Why? Why didn't you raise it? You, even before that, when we were talking, you said you
Yes.
had concerns, that, but you don't raise these matters to the chief of staff, the president.
Just
Was
you
it
must
chi-
understand how the military works.
Pardon?
You must understand how the military works, because it's an order. If you give an order, you will receive an order. You have to execute it.
I do appreciate that you're given an order, but you can express that you do not think that that order is legitimate.
Yeah, I understand, but it wasn't a factor for us to raise at that moment.
Say it again.
It wasn't something that we wanted to raise at that moment. Okay.
So was it's something you should have raised.
Yes.
You cannot just say that we didn't want to, but it's something you should have raised, because at the end of the day, people look at you as the head of the military. They
I
don't
know.
look at the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
They are concerned with Mr. Ozet as
I know. I understand it. It has always been like that in the past, I assure you.
Is maybe still on that point before we go back, is there something that should be done to change that? Because you definitely look uncomfortable about that arrangement.
You need to amend the law,
Okay. To amend the law and do what?
ensure that the power are limited to certain people,
Mark?
because it's open for,
When you say certain people, who do you mean?
well,
The power of certain people have to be limited. Who are these people you're referring to?
we spoke about it earlier.
I'm asking you the question now.
I've answered it. You mentioned it earlier.
Okay, so there is something called Security and Defense Committee in Parliament.
Yes,
You're aware of that.
I'm aware of it.
Do you understand its role?
Yes.
What is the role of that committee in
Well,
relation to
they
your work?
oversee the military and security forces, like police, military, SIS.
So they, like an oversight body.
Yeah, oversight.
It's part
body.
of the civilian control
Yes.
of the military.
Yeah.
Do you meet with them regularly?
No. We meet with them mainly for budget purposes, and if there are any other issues that they would think they would need to be briefed on.
So you meet with them on budget formulation.
Mainly budget,
Then you meet with them at their own
at their own
invitation.
request. Yes.
Okay. So did they invite you to discuss anything to do with management of the defense forces at any time during between 2020 and 2024?
Yes, they conducted a visit to the defense forces, and they provided certain guidance on how we should reorganize in certain areas, how we can do more recruitment of young people, and how we can be more professional in a way to develop the force.
So, were there any issues specifically raised by this committee, parliamentary committee, with respect to this arrangement where you have a military unit that is not accountable to you as the CDF?
No, this
They
was
did
not raised. No.
Okay. Did you raise that with them?
The
as a
unit
concern?
was not formed at that time, I think, when they came. I can't remember, but I think it was not
It was not formed.
yeah.
Did you meet with them any time after it had been formed?
Only for budget purposes.
Only for budget purposes?
Yeah.
Okay. You obviously follow the discussions in Parliament because you...
Not all,
the
some,
time.
yes,
But
some.
at least discussions, reports, findings of the Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Security. Do you recall at any time that committee discussing or making any findings or recommendations on this unit that you are talking about, which is accountable to State House, which in this case is the Commander-in-Chief at that time, but is not in any way accountable to you as the CDF?
No, I can't recall having.
Did that committee make any findings that you are aware of or recommendations with respect to professionalism of soldiers when they are conducting civilian operations?
No, I'm not aware.
Okay. Let's talk about misconduct in the defense forces. So is there a mechanism anyway which allows members of the public to report to SDF if their rights have been violated by any member of the SDF?
Yes,
Okay. How does that work?
there's two ways. Either they come directly to SDF and make a complaint, or they can go to the police, make a complaint. If they come to SDF, they make a complaint, then we would make a case and interrogate that person, that soldier that has more or less committed an offense against a civilian. And if we find that there is merit or truth for him to face military disciplinary, then he would face disciplinary panel of the military, depending on the gravity of the case. He could face junior disciplinary panel, senior, or if it's a higher, then it goes to court-martial. Or they could go to the police would compile
Then
the case
refer those to you.
and send the docket to my office, and I will seek the consent of the president for
Do
that
you-
soldiers to be tried in a civil court or military court.
How often do you get complaints that relate to harassment of the members of the public by the soldiers?
Not much. We get every 2-3 months we might get one.
Okay. So you receive very few
Very
complaints.
few.
That might indicate that the soldiers are behaving well,
Yes.
but might that also indicate that the members of the public are afraid of reporting to the military?
They still got option of the police. If they are afraid to come to the military directly, I would say the option was the police. I don't think they are afraid of the police.
Are the police not afraid of the military?
The police? You ask them.
Okay, that's fine. So, after the 6th of December,
Yeah.
because obviously there's something that happened at the prison,
Yeah.
at Montagne Posée prison, did you receive any complaint that members of the SDF had acted in ways that may suggest misconduct?
No formal complaint came to
No
the
formal
SDF.
complaint.
Yes.
What did you receive?
I
Which
heard
is-
on the news.
You heard on the news.
On the news.
Okay. So, which means you became somehow aware of
Yes.
something that suggests that misconduct may have taken place.
Yes.
And what did you do with that information?
Because it was already a police case.
Okay.
We had spoken to the police. It was a police case, so I didn't want to intervene because the police was doing an investigation.
Okay.
So there was no reporting done to you directly that this incident had happened and that the military was involved in that incident?
The report came in the morning.
No, because you said you heard on the news.
Yeah, I heard on
want
the
you
news.
Formally.
Formally.
Was there any report that was made to you that such incident had happened and that the military was heavily involved in that incident?
Yes, I was informed, but
By
not about. Well, there was two officers that was there. There was Colonel Michael Olanda and Major Dave Mathieu, who was the two most senior officers. The next day, they briefed me and say they had intervened in this incident, but they never spoke about what really happened in detail. So I was not aware in detail, but I heard mainly about the other complaint on the news. This is what I'm saying.
So what they told you was briefly that we were involved in an operation at the prison, that's it?
Well, yes, they were involved in the operations and they came up. We did all the necessary and they gave me a brief, not into detail what happened.
And you never sought from the Commander-in-Chief what really had happened because the military had been involved in that?
Yeah, but there was a briefing.
With the Commander-in-Chief?
Yes.
Okay.
In the briefing.
And what was what transpired through that meeting?
That they intervened, assisted the police and the prison, and in the end, everything went calm.
And anything about who ordered the military to be involved in that incident? Who gave command to the military to intervene in that incident?
Command was already given.
By whom? That's what I want to know.
There's two ways it was given. Firstly, we were approaching the festive season.
No, Mr. Posée, just answer me. I say by whom? I don't want to know whether you were approaching festive seasons. I just want names.
Well, according to 10th Amendment and the
No,
President.
not according to 10th Amendment, Mr. Posée.
The President.
Oh, okay. No, thank you.
Yes, that's
thank
it.
you. Okay.
And I would have also imagined that you said the president, the commander-in-chief,
Commander-in-Chief, yeah.
gave a brief. So his question is very legitimate
Yes.
that you would know in that brief
Yeah.
what he said.
Yes.
So he said he is the one who commanded
Yes.
the forces to intervene at Montagne Posée. And he said the situation had become calm. So in other words, it was a successful operation. Is that?
Well,
We want you to take us into that briefing
Well-
and highlight what was briefed to you.
the brief was the soldiers intervened and they did whatever needs to be done to calm the people, the prisoners who was there. They didn't go into details.
They didn't go into details as to what action they took to calm down the prisoners, like killing the prisoners?
No.
Because that's one action they took.
Because this was a police case at this
No, but that's
time.
one action they took.
Yes.
They killed 2 inmates.
I cannot say because I was not at Montagne Posée, one, and secondly, there was a police
you
case
were-
to determine.
I know you were not at Montagne Posée, but that's what the evidence we have gathered in this
You are
commission.
telling me now I was not aware.
You were not aware 2 people were killed?
I was aware. I sympathize with the two families, particularly Mr. Enista, which I know very well. But I know 2 people were killed, but I was not given to details what happened.
And many were injured?
Yes.
You were told that as well?
Yes, because they didn't say injured, but they said they were given medical treatment.
And many were abused, aggressed by the military and the police? You were not informed that?
No.
Mr. Woodhead, you said that the Commander-in-Chief at that time did mention in the meeting, in the briefing, that he had given the order for the military to go there. Is that what you said? For the military intervention?
Yes.
Okay. Did he give you this order or not?
I was going to explain, but I was prevented from explaining, so I'm not going to talk.
If you don't mind, you can explain.
Please go ahead.
Okay. The situation was that he gave us the order to assist the police, assist the prison during this period. This was the order, to intervene in any security issue that arise, and the prison was one.
Okay. But now, if I just continue, did he tell you to inform the commanders going at the scene that they would take over the responsibility of this operation at the prison or not?
No.
Okay. And these commanders, are they part of the what we know as the Ibu team?
No.
But the military who were personnel who were going to be involved in that operation were from the Ibu team?
No.
So they were officers from the not from the Ibu team, but from.
They were attached to the police at that time. There were 8 that went early.
Pardon?
Okay.
They were attached to the police. As I mentioned, we were given instruction.
So these officers were attached to the police?
Well, initially, yes.
And are these officers known famously as the Ibu team?
No. Not the first. You can't understand, Commissioner. When the situation arose, it was the first team that was with the police, already working with the police, that was sent to the prison. The Ibu team was not there. It was later, late in the night, that I think that they were called by Colonel Olanda.
Okay.
I think maybe what you might need to clarify for us, CDF, is that earlier on you said there was a unit, a unit that
Yes.
comprised of soldiers and police,
Yes, we
which
working
was
with the
not
police.
accountable to you, but was reporting to the commander-in-chief at State House.
No,
So-
it's
so-
not that.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
referring to the team at State House.
So
There's a different team.
Maybe allow me to
Okay.
finish the question. Earlier on, you said there was a unit that was created to carry out as part of the policy on drugs and narcotics, and that unit comprised of soldiers,
Yes.
comprised of the police, and was not accountable to you,
Yes.
but was accountable to the commander-in-chief at State House.
Yes.
Right. You said that, right? Okay. With that in mind, maybe the question that we need you to clarify on is, when this operation happened at Montagne, Posée, was it conducted by the same military unit that you are talking about, which is accountable to State House, or a different unit?
At the beginning, when the event started,
Uh-huh.
it was not the team at State House who
Okay.
went there. It was a different team that was already working with the police.
Okay.
And later, during the night, which the team from State House was called to assist.
Okay. So now, where I got confused is you said you received an order.
The order was
So
given
did-
to assist the police to go for security purposes.
So did you also deploy soldiers from the SDF headquarters to Montagne Posée?
A few of them went later on when the Ibu team was called, but the team that was working already with the police were already assisting the police. They went first to Montagne Posée.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, CDF, the personnel that went to Montagne Posée prison,
Yes.
the first group, which were assisting the
Police.
and then you said later during the night, this team
Went.
and this was requested by Colonel Hollanda.
Yes.
Okay. I've got two questions here. How many military personnel altogether were involved in this operation?
I'll just give you the figure. $36.
That's from the team that is assisting the police.
No, the team that was assisting the police was only 17.
17.
The first group that went was only 8.
Okay. And then the
later,
rest,
rest came later.
all the rest that we call military personnel was 36, you said?
36, yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, when you said that this team, which is, I don't know if you can tell me again, the team that was working at the State House, what was the name of them? What was the name given to them?
I don't know. I heard some people say there was no name given to them right now. But there's a...
So if you wanted to refer to them, how would you refer to them?
It was referred to as a anti-drugs team based at State.
Anti-drugs.
Yes, yeah, for
Anti-drugs.
yes.
And those were the people that you say were based at
State House.
At
Yeah.
State House.
Yeah, the 36 that I've mentioned, it includes them also.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's in
Now, if those people are staff of the army,
Yes.
of the SDF, but you said along the line that you had no
Yeah.
clear mandate on how to deal with them or whatever, only administratively.
Yes.
To whom did Colonel Hollanda speak in order to get them as this separate body to come to this operation?
Well, I believe he spoke to the officer in charge.
Sorry?
He spoke to the officer in charge of the team. Yeah.
Who was the officer in charge?
Well, I mentioned earlier. I will give the name later.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. So he spoke to that person, and that person gave the order
approval
for his team to come.
To move, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you just tell us around what time did the first deployment happen?
Well, it was probably between the first information we received was probably at around 4:45, so they must have moved after. Normally they start operating with the police at around 5, so after 5.
So that was the first deployment of those soldiers who were based with the police. And then there were requests to send in more soldiers. Or around what time was that?
I can't tell what time, but it was probably late in the night, very late at night. But I don't have the time exactly when they were called. Probably Colonel Hollanda or Major Mache, who was there, can provide these details.
Okay. So maybe I see we are already inquiring about the minute details in prison, but that's fine. I'm still trying to understand the framework. Right. So you have a board of inquiry, a procedure of
Yes.
conducting a board of inquiry.
Yes.
That's Section 14 of the Defense Act.
impact. Yeah.
So how does that arrangement mechanism work?
Well, if there is an incident that we feel necessitates a board of inquiry to be set up, then we propose the member to either to me or to we'll discuss with the Commander-in-Chief and set up a board of investigation.
Okay. So you as the leadership
Yes.
at headquarters,
Yes.
you have the right to propose
To propose,
to the
yes.
Commander-in-Chief
Yes.
to establish a board of inquiry.
Yes.
And the Commander-in-Chief has the prerogative to do that or not.
Yes.
Okay. And when this board of inquiry, let's say the President or the Commander-in-Chief agrees to establish a board of inquiry,
Yeah.
so the board of inquiry would do investigations, make findings, and will present a report, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that report would be filed somewhere.
The report will be filed.
Okay. Are there any instances where this procedure was invoked
No.
between 2020 and 2024?
Oh yes, there was several.
Okay.
Several.
And of course, you don't have to divulge things
Yeah.
that relate to national security. But you said, now let's go back to part of what you mentioned with respect to deployments at Montagne Posée. How many? I sympathize with the situation. I get it, that there were different military units under different managements. But how many soldiers did you as CDF deploy to be at Montagne Posée on 5 or 6 December?
As I mentioned earlier, those that were working with the police earlier,
Yeah.
there was 17.
17. Now, when you say they were working with the police, what kind of work were they doing?
They were assisting the police in security duties all across the country.
Yeah.
It's
So-
a normal thing that we get requests to do that
Yeah.
during the festive season. I
That's
explained.
absolutely fine. So they were working with the police at Montagne Posée.
Yes.
Were they working with the police at Montagne Posée to address the disturbances that happened on 5 and 6 December?
They were as a backup for the police. They were outside the premises of the prison. They were not inside the premises of the prison, outside. The instruction was the same when they were working outside on the roads, everything with the police, was that they would be at the back.
Okay.
If the situation, in certain instances, deteriorated where there would be violence or anything being used, then the police might request assistance from the military to assist.
So
them.
when you deploy soldiers like that, you often then get reports after you either get periodic reports if it's a continuous operation, or if it's a once-off operation, you get a report after the operation.
Yes.
So in this case, did you get a report from the soldiers that you deployed?
They did not do, because they were doing, the report went directly to the police, not to me.
Okay, so now maybe you might need to take us back to the 10th Amendment.
Yeah.
So when you conduct such operations where you deploy soldiers to assist the police in enforcing the law, the soldiers don't. I'm not saying do you command them? I'm asking if after the operation they don't give you any report.
No.
To say-
Well, they did give reports when they were on the roads with the police on a daily after the patrols and everything. They would give a report what happened during the night.
So they would, to you or to the police?
They would give to both,
To
the
both.
police and
So in this instance at Montagne Posée, and I'm just talking about
Yeah.
the ones that you deployed.
Yeah.
So they didn't give you a report on
No,
what
it
happened.
was sent directly to the police. The police requested them.
Did you see it?
No.
Did you ask for it?
Well, as it was going to the police, I did not request for it.
Even after you heard earlier on, I take it that until you were briefed by the commander-in-chief,
Yes.
you had not received any report on
No report.
on the disturbances that happened at
No
the prison.
report, yeah.
But surely after hearing that there were disturbances at the prison which had resulted in some people dying and others being brutally injured, and you had troops that the 17 that you had deployed there, and I'm not saying they had anything to do with that or not, but they were there.
Yeah.
Surely you would have asked to see the report that they had.
No, we had agreed with the police that the police will compile the whole report for that.
Did the police compile the report?
Oh yes, they were compiling the reports because they were all the soldiers that participated in the operation were called by the
Did they
police.
share that report with you?
I was waiting. They have not shared it until now.
Did you ask for it?
We've asked several times, but we haven't received it.
When was the first time you asked for the report?
Well, it was a certain time when they came and pick up all the weapons just after. But each time they said they are still working. They are still working on the report because I wanted a separate report, independent report from the police to get all the facts correct.
Yeah,
from
but
them.
could you indicate to us the time, the event, the disturbances that we are talking about?
Yeah, in December. It was
happened
probably around end of December, January. Even a preliminary report, I did not get any report until now.
So end of December, you asked for a
Yes,
report.
Report, yeah.
They told you that
They are still working on
still
the report.
working on it.
Yeah.
And you have been requesting for the report.
Yes.
So when you say you are requesting it from the police, you would be requesting it from the police commission.
Commissioner, yeah.
Okay.
But did you know, you were not getting anything from the police?
Yes.
But Mr. Olanda, I'm sorry, I don't know his...
Michael Olanda.
Yeah, Michael Olanda. You never asked him to give you a brief of what happened?
Yeah, he briefed verbally.
Verbally. You don't have anything written down?
No.
Don't you think it would have been
Well, it
best
would have-
practice to have it written down?
Yeah,
for you?
it would have been good if it was written down. But as I mentioned, the report they did, but it was with the police. Everything was done at the police station.
So you were just brushed aside. No reports were made to you, and you are...
Well, as I mentioned, it's a police case. If it's a police case, then we await the whole docket from the police to come to us. They were working with the police. They were commanding the police.
No, but don't you think that you had sent military personnel there, military officers there, and that there was a real need, actually, I would say, for you to get a report, even if the police is conducting their own investigation and preparing a report, at least you should have asked for a report, don't you think so?
Yes, it could have been done, yeah.
Section 30 and 31 of the Defense Forces Act, which is your principal law, says the soldiers may be deployed to assist in the enforcement of civilian law or enforcement of in civilian operations. But it also says they remain soldiers even during that process.
Yes.
So we get it that they are probably under the command of the police at that time.
Yes,
But they are soldiers.
they are soldiers.
Right. So you have an obligation, actually, in terms of the law, to get that report. So I get it that you asked for the report, you didn't get it.
It depends how you interpret it.
Okay. How do you interpret it, sir?
If they are working under the police, under the command of the police, I'm not sure you saying as you interpret it, but we were interpreting it that it's the police who does the report.
So even when you hear
Yeah.
that two people were murdered, and several were brutally injured during an operation in which 17 of your soldiers that you deployed were at the scene, you can't say I don't think it's my responsibility to.
Yeah, I take the
So-
responsibility, but
I take it that you asked for the report.
yeah,
You didn't get it,
yeah,
but you are the CDF,
yes,
right? So I'm trying to find out if there is anything that prevented you from going further than just asking the police commissioner. Because earlier on, remember, we talked about the organization of
Yes.
the defense forces, that is
Yes.
the commander-in-chief at the top.
yeah.
So did you at any point explore other avenues of getting this report?
Well, this was discussed in a different forum.
Okay, please take us into
No, I will not divulge the different forum because it's a secretive forum and I cannot put it in camera.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
would discuss that in...
Yeah.
That is fine. You can get into that in off camera, but things that are publicly provided for in the law, the public has a right to know, because what is happening here, CDF, is that a major challenge that
Yes.
has happened here.
Yeah,
It's
I
not just
understand.
people. It's not just that people were killed. That on its own, it's a big problem, and that people were brutally injured. It's a big problem. But another problem is that nobody is giving them the answers that they are looking for. There seems to be. You are saying, I am the CDF, yes, but these 17 soldiers, their report goes to the police commissioner. I asked the police commissioner didn't give me a report. But that's not how the system is designed, in such a way that people in your positions should account.
Yeah, I know.
So did you ask? And I didn't want to ask this question because I was hoping that you would answer it in the process of explaining to us whether you engaged other stakeholders.
Yes,
did you ask the chief of the commander-in-chief?
Yeah.
Or did you tell the commander-in-chief that you had asked for a report from the police commissioner and he has not given it to you?
He was aware.
No, but did you ask him? Did you tell him?
Well, in the forum, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what did he say?
Well, the police each time mentioned that they are still working on it. There have been different stage in it. Well, the police would be in a better position to explain what the stages were, but they had not concluded anything yet with their report.
So was that what he told you? What the commander-in-chief told you?
No, it was with the commissioner of police and the commander-in-chief. That
I am interested
Did the
in
commissioner of
knowing.
police form part of that meeting?
it's a different forum.
Different
Okay,
forum, was it?
sorry. I am interested in knowing what the commander-in-chief said, because I'm working with you are the one who said the military works according
Yes.
to hierarchy,
Yeah.
and I'm also looking at the law, the legal framework, and what it says. So the commander-in-chief is your principal.
Yes.
You are asking for a report.
Yeah.
And you directed the request to the police commissioner. The police commissioner is not giving you the report,
Yeah.
right?
Not that he didn't give me, but he said he's still working on it.
Yep.
He's preparing the report. Is being prepared by his staff. It
Okay,
was
so
not finished
maybe
yet.
let me ask you this question. You started asking for the report end of December 2024, and you said until now you have not seen that
I
report.
haven't seen it because
Surely that's not normal, right?
it's not normal. Because I wanted to know if there was any military personnel involved. They had to find out.
That's
Then
okay.
it would be a different process.
That's okay, CDF. So you and I agree that it was not normal.
Yes.
So if it is not normal, then surely the question I'm asking you is legitimate. That if you are of the view that it's not normal, that you are not getting this report until now, you would have gone to the commander-in-chief at least when was he still commander-in-chief? Until when? 2020?
October.
Yeah,
25.
October 20. You would have
No,
surely
but he
gone.
was in the same position as me.
So,
What
but
do you
but
mean?
what I want to know, which you haven't answered me, is what. So did I asked you, did you tell him that you have asked for this report and you have not gotten it?
He was
Right.
in
Now
the
I'm
same
asking
position.
you, did you complain to him that this report is unduly delayed?
He was well aware.
Did you complain to him?
No, because he was aware the report
Okay, so you
was
did-
not ready.
So the answer is you did not complain because you were of the view that he is aware.
He's aware, yes.
Right? Why would you say he was aware?
I will mention off camera.
Okay.
When you say that the commander-in-chief was in the same position as you, what do you mean?
He was also waiting for the report.
And you mean the commander-in-chief could not go to the commissioner of police and say, look, this happened in December 2024, and even 4 months down the line, 5 months down the line, I've not received the report, and it is important that I get a report?
Well, this you have to ask him, the commander-in-chief. I cannot answer on his behalf.
One minute. Have you approached the present commander-in-chief and said, look, this incident happened and I've not received the report? The current?
The current, no, I haven't.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
And do you think there was a need for you to approach him and say, look, this incident happened in 2024 and the police has not produced any report for our consideration?
Well, I think by setting up of this commission.
No, that commission came later, in the interim before the setting up of the
Yeah.
commission. Even if the commission has been set up, you could always go to him and say, the report, I need the report.
Yeah. But this has not been done yet, but it will.
Yeah, when I read the terms and conditions of this commission, it's apparently clear that the president and the government are saying there is a lot that has not been explained, including
Yeah.
that report you're talking about.
Yes.
Right. So I think, so I'm saying, I don't think you can say, now that there's a commission, I don't need to ask for the report.
No.
Because the commission can't.
The commission has got its own work, but the report is a different issue.
Okay. But I take it that you said you'd
Yes, I
explain
will explain
off camera
Yes.
why you think. Okay, so I want to go back again to I think the last bit on the framework, and then we need to go into this incident at the prison, and sort of narrow down on it. So when the 10th Amendment was introduced, giving you the responsibility to assist the police and, rather reinforcing that responsibility, because I think he is correct that the responsibility was already there in Section 30 of the Act. Tell us the in practice, when the police need military assistance, what do they do? Who do they get in contact with? What we want to understand how that mechanism works.
Normal process would be the commissioner of police.
Okay.
Sometimes it might be his deputy or his assistant commissioner might request. But normally we would go through the commander-in-chief sometimes.
Okay.
But if it's urgent, then he would call directly. The commissioner might call directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the police commissioner
Yes.
calls the commander-in-chief?
Yeah, he might call the commander-in-chief or he might call me directly.
Do you have a forum where, or a cluster, where the key entities responsible for defense and security meet and,
Yes.
and have a discussion on coordination?
Yes.
So if you have that entity, then maybe this commission is expecting an authoritative response from you which says this is how things work. Because
Yeah, but this I will mention it off camera. I told earlier.
but policy is policy. I'm not yet asking you how in practice things were working.
Yeah.
I'm asking you what the policy is. So the people of this country surely have a right to know what the policy is and how it works in terms of triggering the intervention of the military. So we can talk off camera about how in practice it was happening.
Yeah.
But I want to know in terms of the policy, which is public information.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's not on your website.
It's
so
not
I would
published.
not have asked you this question.
Yeah, but it's a committee that consists of the defense, consists of police and the intelligence services.
Okay. So now let's go back to my question, and I'm looking for something that is official. If the police need reinforcements from the military to help them enforce a particular law or deal with a particular civilian situation, what are the procedures that they follow? So you had said the police commissioner is the one who makes the request.
Yes.
What I want to understand is, in terms of the policy, who does he direct the request to? Who is he supposed to direct the request to? To the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
Right. And then what does the commander-in-chief do?
He would instruct me to assist the police.
CDF.
To assist the police.
Then the CDF will then instruct
lower officers to
go
and meet with the police and see how they can.
So in terms of policy, I just want to make sure we understand you clearly on this. In terms of policy, if the police or prisons officers need military assistance, it is the head of prisons, in this case, who would talk to the police.
Yes.
The police talk to the president.
Yes.
The president talks to you.
Yes.
Then you release or you deploy the soldiers.
Yes.
I take it that by virtue of your answer earlier on, that in practice this is not what was happening, but you are not prepared on camera to provide details.
Yes.
Then you can do that off camera as to how things were working.
Yes.
Okay. Then again, in terms of policy, because that's where I'm still at.
Okay.
In terms of policy, this cluster of security agencies and entities of the state that you are talking about, did it ever discuss, after the 10th Amendment, did it ever discuss, as part of that policy, the need to make sure that soldiers are properly equipped and inducted to conduct civilian operations?
Yes.
So what were some of the mechanisms that were put in place?
We approached UNODC, which was providing training for the military in terms of policing duties.
So did the UNODC train, how many soldiers were trained?
I don't know, but it was mainly special forces, the Coast Guard and everything were trained,
So was that training adequate in your view?
No.
Okay.
It's a long process to conduct all this training.
Okay. But because I understand training is trying to capacitate the soldiers to have the skills and the knowledge, including around human rights, when they are engaging with civilians. But what about accountability for you as the leaders? Did you put in place any mechanism to make sure that there is accountability, there is oversight for you who are leading the different security clusters?
Yes.
So what was the mechanism?
The mechanism was to train all the leaders, all the people to ensure that whatever equipment was given, and they were trained how to use it, and to ensure that whenever there is any operation, they would give feedback reports.
Yeah, but I think that's not the question I'm asking, was you are still in the realm of training. Which I think you have addressed me properly. But I'm still looking for an answer to do with oversight. So, and let me explain maybe briefly why I am asking this question. You remember earlier on?
Yes.
We had this discussion about when you deploy soldiers to go and assist the police. Who are those soldiers? Who commands those soldiers during the operation? You said it's the police.
Yes.
Right. Then I asked you this question: do you get any report during the operation or after the operation? Then you said yes. Then of course we then ended up talking about Montagne Posée and said, did you get any report? And you said no. So that's so. But I'm trying to move away from Montagne Posée for now, just to get the sense of how you, as leaders of these security clusters, thought you would be able to continue providing oversight on your members when you put them together. So you put soldiers, intelligence officers, and police together to conduct an operation, right? Is there any coordination amongst the heads of these different entities?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I want you to explain to me. How
No,
does...
That's the forum we had, as mentioned earlier, where we have the SIS, the police, and the military together with the commander-in-chief.
So
that's
when
where we discuss all these issues.
So when an operation that involves members of all these entities is taking place, do you regularly coordinate as heads of those clusters?
Oh yes, we were in contact. We coordinate regularly. We're meeting weekly.
But you would also be meeting during the operation?
No, not during the operation, but we would communicate.
Okay.
Communicate to each other if there was any issue that was raised by the team.
What if the operation goes wrong?
If the operation goes wrong, then we have to take a decision.
But that means you have a mechanism that allows you to continue monitoring the operation, right?
Yes.
At a leadership level. There's someone
monitoring, yes.
and providing oversight to the operation.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And is that part of the policy, or it's what good people were just doing? Is it written somewhere in the policy?
No, it's not written. It's of good.
So it just became a practice?
A practice, yes.
But there is no policy that says when there is an operation involving different state security agencies, the leaders of those three different state agencies should establish a coordinating committee to oversight their members.
Well, this is done when we were doing with the police. It was at the level of the police to do it. They would meet before and make their instruction how the operation would be conducted. And this would be shared with all the members that was participating in the operation.
The different CDF is this one. If the police are conducting their own operation,
yes,
the police commissioner, I can imagine, will designate someone to command.
Yes.
Right? And commanding also means monitoring and evaluating what the forces are doing on the ground.
Yes.
Equally, when you are also conducting your own operation as the military, you delegate someone to monitor and evaluate the operation. That's the commander.
Yes.
Right. But now when you have two different security forces coming together in an operation, it's a different situation because you have two or three different entities together. And I'm asking if there is a written policy somewhere which speaks to how the three different entities will coordinate during the operation.
No, there's no.
There is nothing like that. Do you think you should have something like that?
Yes, definitely there should be.
Okay. And is this something that was raised?
We raised
you came up with this
when the 10th Amendment was introduced, we raised this that we need
in the Defense
SOP.
Council. or in
how,
the
yeah, an SOP, how we work
and
together.
and who was responsible for developing that SOP?
Well, normally in the military, it's the training branch, the operations and training branch that works on SOP for that, because they would be particularly working in operations. Yeah.
I don't mean to argue with you on that, but
No.
I'm just thinking that if it's a purely military operation, then you
Yes.
expect the military
Yeah.
to develop the SOP.
Yes.
If it's purely as a police force operation, you expect the police to have the SOP.
Yeah.
But if it's a joint forces operation,
It's a joint SOP.
then it's a joint SOP.
SOP, yes.
So if it's a joint SOP, who is coordinating that? The
Well-
development of the SOP.
There was at a certain stage meeting to start working on it, but never materialized.
And who was in charge of that process which did not materialize?
Well, at that time, it was the police and I mentioned the training office, the defense forces, to work on it. Yeah.
You earlier on said, these forces or these agencies work according to rank.
Yes.
So I'm trying to locate amongst your ranks who is in charge of this process that failed. Is it the commander-in-chief?
No,
Is
that's
it
it's a
this?
lower rank to work on the SOP.
Okay.
He would just give the guidance to.
But this is a national policy.
Yeah.
So there's someone supervising the development of that national policy.
Yeah.
There's someone implementing,
Yes.
and that possibly is a middle rank
The middle rank that would work
who is drafting.
drafting. Yeah.
But who is managing that middle rank office?
Well, as I mentioned, at both level, the operation from the police and the operations from the military, the two branches should have been working on it.
But they were not.
They didn't complete it. They didn't do it. Yeah.
So I
They
take
would,
it.
they would just issue guidance for such operation if they were, but they didn't do a special SOP for that. There was none.
Okay. I think I will end here, and then for now, and then maybe ask Commissioner Vidot to help us understand the prison.
Just two little things to clarify.
Okay.
Okay. CDF, once more, that there is a structure. There should have been a structure anyway. In the Ministry of Internal Affairs at that time. Could you talk us the structure in this ministry, how it worked?
For internal affairs?
Yes, for internal affairs, because you were part of the internal affairs, weren't you?
No. We
So-
were directly under the president as the commander-in-chief. We were not part of internal affairs.
Okay. So if you fall directly under the president,
Yes.
then the internal affairs would be, correct me if I'm wrong, then it would be the police,
Yes.
immigration, whatever the rest. Okay. Now, when you are working at this level under the commander-in-chief, and you are surrendering your forces to the police, do you think it's normal?
Well, according to international norm, it's not normal. But that's the way it has been. It was at that time.
Yeah, because why I'm asking you this is the rules, your rules of engagement
Yeah.
as a military establishment is quite important,
Yes.
and it would be totally different to that of the police or whatever it is.
Yeah, sure, that's completely correct, yeah.
Okay. So now if we are sending our troops to assist the police, normally they would leave the unit with their personal weapons.
Correct.
And they would be on the streets in a civilian setting with weapons.
Correct, yeah.
Did you find this normal? I mean, as...
Well, it's not normal, but in certain circumstances, yes, you have to be armed because the way situation sometimes were.
Yeah, but don't you think maybe your forces were kept at the army headquarters or wherever unit it was, and if there was any request for further intervention, then they would call the army headquarters to provide them with such forces.
But Commissioner Thion, I agree with you, but look at the history. It has always been like that, and it has always ended in the same situation. Each time there has been a riot at the prison, the military which was called in, and it has always ended like that. And I think that's something that we should consider in the future, not to react fast and send the military. It's not the first time this.
But anyway, this one, then I'll come back to ask you a question later. No, because I find it a little bit. I know I'm talking the way I'm talking now, but it's what were the duties and responsibilities assigned to a section or a platoon of the army to go and assist a civilian entity to carry out their duties? Did you have a list of duties and responsibilities that were given to them?
Yes.
They had it?
They had.
Okay, so they knew exactly.
They knew
what
exactly
they were.
when they were assisting the police. Yeah, they knew.
Okay, I think Commissioner Bitot can take it.
Just one thing, going back on what he said. You said that incident was not unique. Before that, it had happened. Correct?
Yes.
But you will agree with me that this time the incident was more serious in that more people were killed, more people were injured, and beaten up.
Yes.
Okay. And you said as well that you enlisted the assistance of the UNODC to conduct training to your military officers to undertake duties in respect of civilian nature.
Yes.
Okay, and I believe that you enlisted that assistance because you realized, or there was recognition, that the military is not equipped to do the job of the police. You have to answer, because it's recorded, so I don't want you to just say, shake your head. I want you to speak.
Because what we mentioned earlier was with the amendments, we were requested to do police duties, so we had to retrain our personnel and get them acquainted with certain police duties.
And how many of these officers that you that were sent to the prison had gone through this training?
I won't know. I have to check the records. I cannot confirm.
Okay. And you said as well that they were trained in humanitarian law? Or,
yes, some of them were trained, yeah.
But you will agree with me that killing a civilian, actually two, that's not human rights, that's not humanitarian law.
Well, I agree, yes.
Yeah. Injuring by shooting civilians, that's not part of humanitarian law.
It's not part, but depending on if that person is armed also, then in self-defense you can self-defense. Yeah.
Okay. So, but assaulting, using arms against a person who's not armed and injuring that person, that would not be civilian law or humanitarian law.
Well, no.
And indiscriminate beatings, assault, this is not protecting human rights.
No.
So if all these happened, which did, you will agree with me that whatever was taught to the soldiers by UNODC was useless because they didn't capture what was taught to them.
Not useless. It depends on the situation. I was not there at Montagne Posée. I was not in the shoe of the soldier. I don't know, but they should have probably be in a more calmer situation. But That's,
I can tell you the evidence we've got is
Yeah.
that when the military came, at that point, everything was quiet at the prison. That's the evidence we have on record.
Okay.
And
If I may assist Commissioner on that. You see, the situation we need to all prevent
Yeah.
is a situation where you have soldiers who are deployed to do an operation,
Yeah.
but nobody wants to actually account on what those soldiers have done. Is that fair on the citizens?
It's not fair, but we should also look at what caused the situation.
I don't mean to divert
I'm not
but
diverting,
what
but-
caused the situation, because the law is clear.
Yeah.
You deployed 17 soldiers. That's
Yes.
what you told
Yeah,
us.
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Those soldiers report to you.
Yes.
All right? But you are unable, because you are even saying I was not there at Montagne Posée. You keep saying that, and I think you are not expected to be there because you are CDF.
Yeah.
Right. But you are expected to have an accurate record of what your soldiers have done.
Yes. But this did not happen because of the situation there.
you don't know the situation because you see you were not there.
I
I'm
wasn't
telling
there.
you what we've learned,
Yeah.
what the situation was, is that at the point where the military was called in,
Yeah.
everything was calm. There was a situation before, but that has been diffused, and it was only after the military arrived that escalated and a new situation developed.
Okay. I was not.
Yeah. And these officers who are part of the infamous Ibu team, okay, who chooses these officers to be part of that team?
Well, that would be the officer in charge would select.
The commander-in-chief or the
No,
officers in
no,
charge?
the officer in charge.
The officers in charge. And you are the CDF.
Yeah, but he would request.
He wouldn't tell you, I need Officer A or Officer
Yeah, this
B
is the way it would
or
be done.
Officer B to join that
Yes.
group. So you were told.
Yes,
So you know who the officers were.
who were selected.
Yeah, who were selected.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know? I mean, I'm sure you know. Ezron 4, O'Neill Fanchette, Daniel Arisol, and Ron Joubert.
Yes.
Are they part of the Ibu team or not?
Not all.
When you say not all, who are part of the Ibu team?
Let me see. Can you mention the name?
Pardon?
Can you re-mention the name?
Okay. Ezron 4, O'Neill Fanchette,
Just a minute, just a minute.
Daniel Arisol, and Ron Joubert.
Ezron 4, no.
Pardon?
Ezron 4 is not part of the team.
Okay. The others are.
The others, yes,
Okay. The others are.
yeah.
And after the incident, you never met with any one of them.
During the briefing, yes, I saw of one or two, probably. I can't remember the names.
Were you informed that these 4 officers I've just named
Yeah.
were identified as officers who inflicted serious injuries and assaulted a gentleman who lost his life?
One I was
You were informed.
informed.
What action have you taken?
Well, the action was the police case. We were waiting for all the documents from the police to see because,
So the military decided we wait for the...
yes, because if it would depend on the police docket that would be
Okay.
sent for me to seek approval of the commander-in-chief if he is being charged for anything wrongdoing.
You ever called him in?
Yes, he was called.
He was called in. You
Yeah.
talked to him.
Yeah, not me personally, but the lower officer who was there.
And a report was made to you as to what
Uh,
transpired?
No, he made the report directly to the police.
Mr. Wizard, I have difficulty in this understanding that your officers will bypass you completely and go directly to the police?
Well, yes, because we were told to submit all the report to the police. We were instructed to do so.
So you remember, thank you. You remember in the beginning,
Yeah.
I was asking you questions about, mechanisms
Yeah.
which, civilians
Yeah.
can use to report complaints of
Yes.
harassment,
Yeah.
victimization by the soldiers. And it's legitimate that these mechanisms should be there because you are a force that is subject to civilian control. You said it yourself at
Yes.
the beginning, right?
Yes.
So the civilians should be able to complain. And you said the civilians have two options, the
Yes.
police or the military. And you presented those mechanisms as, functional,
Yeah, it's functional.
right? Yeah, but you yourself did not get a report from the police
Yeah.
about the operations of the 17 soldiers that you
Yeah.
deployed and your CDF,
Yeah.
right? In answering his questions, you are already showing that you were bypassed, right? Well, the investigation could not continue because you're waiting for the police. So these mechanisms are not working.
Yes, it's not working because once it's a police case.
So
It's a
CDF,
police.
so CDF maybe because this is an opportunity
Yeah.
for stakeholders to fix a problem.
Yes.
So maybe what will not work is for us to sit here and spend the whole day saying things are working, right?
Okay.
When we know and evidence is there that shows that things are not working.
Yes, it
Right?
is.
So let's talk about it frankly.
Yeah.
And in answering the question, say this is not working.
It's not working. Yes, that's correct. That's what I said. It did not work as it should have been for this case.
Okay.
Okay. But the others, apart from the one who said you said it's an officer, the others are from the Ibu team.
The others, yeah.
Ever talk to them?
No.
You didn't feel that there was a need to talk to them?
Well, there was a need, yes.
Yeah. But you didn't talk to them because they do not fall under your direct
Yes.
command?
Yes.
And you will agree with me that that's strange that you have military officers who you cannot have control over.
Well, it's been like that for years sometimes.
Yeah. It's been like
it's
that,
been like
but it shouldn't.
It shouldn't, yeah. It should be clear.
Yeah.
The-
And you acknowledge that this shouldn't be the case, but you've still not done anything to normalize
Yes.
what should actually be the case.
Yes.
Okay. But you don't know anything that happened at the Montagne Posée prison?
No. Not
No
really.
briefings at all?
No.
Okay. You've not talked to Mr. Hollande?
Well, I spoke to him, but he was not inside the prison. He was also standing far
Sorry,
away.
Commissioner,
Yeah.
but you said there was a briefing.
Yeah, the briefing was a briefing, but I thought it was a very short briefing. There was nothing into details about the incident inside, what happened, which everyone did. I was not briefed on that.
I'm finding that very difficult to understand because I'm thinking this is round about the same time that the Commander-in-Chief did a press conference on this issue. It's an extensive press conference that he addressed on this issue, this operation. The Commissioner of Prisons at that time did a press conference on this issue,
Yeah.
and you enter into a briefing where you don't have details. It's a briefing, but you're not given any details.
Not
on what's happening?
Not all the details. Not all into the details.
Did you ask for the details?
No, I did not ask for.
The fact that you were not briefed by anyone, I would say, would you interpret? Could that be interpreted as a lack of respect to your office?
Definitely, yeah.
But you accepted it. Accepted the situation.
With certain conditions, yes.
Would you also interpret that as lack of respect for the people that are supposed to be saved and protected by the security forces themselves?
In a certain way, yes.
So you don't know anything about what happened at the prison?
As I mentioned inside.
Okay. Anyway, because we've had evidence saying that these 4 officers were involved in assaulting an inmate who unfortunately deceased as a result thereof. What do you think should they be found? Should it be found that they actually committed such atrocious crimes? What do you think should happen to them?
Apply the law.
Yeah. Okay, but for now, the military, despite these reports, do not do anything about it.
No, until now, no.
And all of them are just walking free and enjoying life.
Yes, until we get a report.
And that report has been coming for more than 1 year?
Yes.
Still don't have it?
Yes.
Yeah. And the relatives of those who lost their lives are still in grief, and seeing these people walking around on the streets. Yeah, that's not fair.
It's not fair, yes.
But it also creates an impression, even internationally, that this society is descending into what we call impunity, where, people who carry weapons and who are trusted with weapons and trusted with power act in a manner that results in serious human rights violations, and nothing happens to them. And the excuse that is given is that we are waiting for a report.
Yes, that's how it is right now. If the report was submitted with all the dockets saying that who was responsible, then certain action and the law would have applied.
And you also, how can I put this? There were a lot of people who were injured, and you will appreciate that if somebody has been handcuffed, okay, and that person poses no threat to the officers who were there during that operation, an operation which I believe should not have happened. If they were handcuffed, would there be reasons for military and officers to assault them?
No.
Maybe this might also be an opportunity to clarify some things, because you, as far as we are concerned, you are the person in charge of the daily operations of the military, including training.
Yes.
Yeah. Are soldiers trained just to kill?
No.
What are they trained to do?
Any sorts of job. Some working on the
So
ship.
under what circumstances does a soldier kill? Do they have a permission to kill in the first place?
Yes.
Okay, under what circumstances?
Various circumstances, depending on the situation. If it's a war, or if there is a certain civil
Yeah, I
disorder.
mean, there is no war in
Yeah,
Seychelles.
if there's civil disorder where weapons or people are grouping here, becoming terrorists or these sort of things, then definitely there would be a need to use a weapon, but not on every occasion.
So if you deploy soldiers
Yeah.
to a prison because you have heard that there is some disturbances that are going on there, or someone can say there's a riot, do you not have an obligation to first establish whether the prisoners are armed or not, in order to determine what weapons to carry into the prison?
Yes.
In this case, was that done?
Yes.
And what was the determination?
The weapons they had only sidearm.
They had
Sidearm, which is a pistol.
pistols. There were no... What kind of bullets were these pistols using?
9mm.
Live
9
bullets?
9mm. Live bullet 9mm. That's what they went in. And later on, I think they had 5 shotguns, but they
Okay.
didn't
So
have
I'm
the
just
bullets.
interested in the live bullets for now.
Yeah.
So live bullets are fatal, right?
Yes.
Of course, a rubber bullet can also be fatal if you
Yeah.
shoot it at a close range.
Yeah.
But live bullets, whether it's at a long range or short range, if it hits the target, the person is likely to die. So
Depending
do you-
on the range,
Yeah.
the effective range of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think it's lawful? I'm not saying is it nice, because I know as a military person you don't deal with nice things or what. But law, in terms of the law, is it lawful to engage civilians who are not armed
No.
and you engage them with live bullets?
No, it's not normal.
So in this case, the determination was unlawful, right?
Yeah, it's not normal. Yeah.
Yeah, because the determination that you talked about is there was an assessment
Yeah.
to establish what weapons to the prisoners
Yes.
have, and you didn't determine that there was anyone inside prison who was carrying a gun.
Well, I don't know, but I'm not sure if anyone knew if any prisoner was armed.
But the reason why you are security forces
Yes.
is that you have a certain level of intelligence that we don't have as civilians, including the ability to investigate. So surely there was a scientific determination or investigation that was done before you decided which weapons the soldiers should carry into the prison. And there is no evidence here that the prisoners were armed with guns.
Well, the soldiers, I don't think they knew.
Should they have known?
They evaluated the situation, but they didn't know what was inside the prison.
So it was an intelligence failure as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So what do you think that projects the military? How does that project the military out to the outside world?
Well, it doesn't look good.
If you are dealing with prisoners who are confined to a specific location, and you have no idea as to what kind of weapons they are carrying, and you just decide that we are going to just carry live bullets.
Well, they carry live bullet because they don't know what was inside, but they are not to use. Once they are inside, they can make an evaluation of the situation and see if it's worth using it or not. It was their decision inside to evaluate the
Would your soldiers
situation.
go into any battle in any part of this world without knowing what the enemy combat capacity looks like.
No, you have to evaluate and get the intelligence correct.
Exactly. So there is a suspicion then
Yeah.
that you definitely knew as the military, or you were, okay, let's speak in terms of the law, you are reasonably expected
Yeah.
to know. Leaders and individuals in your position have a duty, and are expected reasonably
Yeah.
to know what weapons the prisoners are carrying.
Yeah.
And the fact that you went in there carrying live bullets to engage with civilians who are not armed with guns is gross abuse of power, but also gross negligence,
Negligence, yeah.
which unfortunately in this case resulted in 2 fatal deaths,
That's it.
several brutal injuries, including permanent injuries, which unfortunately projects the military as an entity that civilians begin to question when they are supposed to be working with
Yeah,
them.
definitely. Yeah.
And perhaps what is not coming out from the some of the witnesses who are in a leadership position who have appeared before us is that acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Because it looks like we have to probe it.
Yeah,
It looks
we
like
don't
we have
want
to ask
prompt
you
it.
questions. We have to say, do you believe that this is... But you, why is it difficult to just say it and say,
Yeah,
look, as a military, we are one of the best militaries in the world. There is no way we would enter into a prison without knowing what weapons are carried inside.
No, I think the situation, as I mentioned to Commissioner Tsio earlier, has been the past. It has always been like that. And the soldiers has seen what has happened in the past, and nothing was done to prevent it from happening again until this one happened.
Unfortunately, the people who were supposed to do something which was not done
Yes.
is you, the leaders.
Well, yes, we try.
Okay.
I have tried on several occasions to stop it. I can mention it to you.
CDF, that's the part we wanted to hear
I
from
want
you.
it because
Yeah.
every year we've been called to go to the prison
Okay.
because of fear of riot. Every festive season, the military has been called. I refused on certain occasions because the fear of the prison is a riot. This is the big weakness of the prison. I think the leadership of the prison should beef up. And also the issue of corruption is too much. This is why we see this sort of situation arising, because the quick fix for the prison is called the military. It has always been like that. And until this situation arises where many people has been killed, I've got evidence. If I show you evidence of the past, every December, we are called in because of fear of riots.
So did you we're not going back to the Defense Council,
Yeah.
because you said you have all these structures. So did you raise these issues?
Oh, yes, we
with
raised
your
this issue.
Commander-in-Chief and say,
We raised this issue. It's not
did you make recommendations on what should
not
be done?
recommendation, but we raised the issue. We said the military is not there to go, but every year we get the same request.
So the way the system is designed is such that you make a report or you raise an issue, and the issue is to your principal, who is the Commander-in-Chief.
Yes.
And the Commander-in-Chief will deal with those issues. Did he deal with those issues?
No.
Okay.
And this continues until this situation arises.
So
I've
he
got
didn't
the copies of all the correspondence that was done in the past,
So if-
requesting. Mr. Tsio, as a commissioner, you've been in the military, you know very well about this issue, which has been ongoing for many years.
So if someone comes here as a witness and says, no, there was no suspicion of any disturbances that were going to happen or riot that was going to happen, and they say, what happened on 5 and 6 December was such a surprise for us, they would be lying, right?
Yes.
Because your version is that there were all signs indicating that, especially around Christmas.
Yes.
They would be-
I can give you records, some which I have. I can give you.
In the clusters that you meet, now I'm not talking of the Defense Council, I'm talking of the
Yes.
security cluster at ministerial level, senior management level. Did you raise this issue?
This issue was raised, yeah.
So the minister would have known,
Oh, yeah. Yes, they
the
did.
president would have known,
Yes.
the police commissioner would have known.
Yes. As I mentioned, the quick fix was to call the military. That's every year, that's it. And the president didn't raise the level of their officers to be able to deal with riots or try to see how best they can manage the prison.
Okay. No, you can go
Okay.
then. You can.
Okay. You said that you were called, asked to assist because there was a disturbance. Is that what you said earlier on? I'm correct?
For this incident of...
Yeah, this incident.
Yes, okay.
You were not told the nature of that incident, of that disturbance.
Oh, yes, we were told.
What were you told?
It was a riot.
Okay. And, okay, so you dispatch officers.
Yes.
Isn't it the duty of the officers in charge to be able to evaluate the situation on the ground before sending soldiers in?
Yes, they did, because they were outside the prison premises until they were called in by the police in the prison.
But they were called in by the police. They don't make an assessment themselves that
yes,
there was absolutely no need for them to go in?
No, they didn't make them. I think they made the assessment for that, yeah. Because I'm not there to give the details of the assessment, but the officer who was there might probably in a better position to give what was he seeing, what was the situation there.
But before you even send troops into the prison, would it not be wiser to have some form of negotiation if actually they say there was a riot?
I'm not sure if the prison tried to negotiate, the negotiations failed. I'm not aware of this.
No, even if the prison didn't try to negotiate.
Okay.
That's the evidence we have. Everybody is saying that even there were officers who were willing to try and go and talk to those involved in the disturbance. They were prevented from doing so. So there was a need for, as part of the assessment, to try to negotiate first.
Well, that's what I mentioned earlier, is that the prison always used the military as a
No.
quick fix.
Not about whether always it's like that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you whether you believe there was a need for negotiation before sending the troops into the mill block of the prison.
No, the prisoners should have respected the law. That's it, and there would have been no riot.
What do you mean?
The
What do you say?
prisoners, they respect the law. They will say they didn't want, there was no negotiation to be done at that time.
One thing, you say prisoners have to respect the law.
Yeah.
Don't soldiers?
Yes, so they also have to respect the law.
They have to respect the law.
The same, yeah, the same.
Yeah.
Everyone
And
has to respect.
they didn't respect the law. then.
Everybody didn't respect it.
No, they didn't respect the law. And even before that situation escalated,
Yeah.
what was needed was a negotiation.
Well, but that was on the part of the prison to negotiate. It was the prison to negotiate, yeah.
Your view is the prisoners didn't negotiate, didn't respect the law.
Yes,
Which law did they not respect?
the prison law.
Which part of the prison law? I'm assuming you were briefed on what the prisoners did.
Well, I saw the footage on TV that they were throwing stone, and this is what was shown on
Okay,
TV.
so
Yeah,
let me put this, because because remember you admitted at the beginning that
Yeah.
there was no report
yes, there
that
was
you
one.
received.
Yes,
Right? So which means you have no holistic
Picture.
picture of what happened.
Oh, yes.
So it would be dangerous for you to then make a strong statement that says the prisoners should have respected the law, right? There is a version,
Yeah, okay.
including both from prison guards and inmates, which says the prisoners were mistreated, including being taken into isolation cell arbitrarily without following any procedure for no disclosed reason. And because they are living in a confined area where they are raising complaints with their management, but those complaints are not being addressed, they then decided to protest, not by burning mattresses, not by destroying any property, but by shouting and calling and demanding that the authorities must come and engage with them. So maybe I don't want to use the word negotiate, because it looks like we are saying let's compromise. But they are saying, can the management come and talk to us to explain why we continue to be treated this way, why the law is not being followed?
Yes.
Are you aware of that?
No.
You are not, right?
No.
So I would then say, if you are not aware of that version, it would be dangerous, I think,
Yeah.
for a person in your position to actually take the position
Yeah.
that the prisoners deserve what happened because,
No.
or what happened can be justified because they didn't follow the law.
No, I didn't mean it in that case,
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
I agree they broke the law, but I think there should have been a proper manner of tackling the issue
Yes.
by the prison first to prevent
That
it
I
from,
think we
from
agree.
escalating.
Yeah.
We agree on that, yeah.
It's by the prison.
Yeah, it's by the
they-
prison,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you also said that that the military was just assisting the police.
Yes.
Actually, we have evidence. This was the reverse, actually. The prison had lost control, and the military said that they are in control. Should it have been that way?
No, I cannot agree because the prison still remains under the control of the CP.
Yeah.
The soldiers, they might have taken responsibility of like being a leader to in front, but we never remove the leadership of the prison from the CP.
But that's not what was said. We have a lot of people, a lot of evidence that came in and said the soldiers saying they are in charge. Should that have been the case?
No, I don't know who said that. but
Many witnesses.
Yeah, but I'm not sure who were the soldiers, which soldier said that. I'm not sure who. Then he should be held responsible for saying that if he was in the prison, because that was the compound of the prison. So the commissioner of prisoners should be the leader there.
Commissioner Vic?
Major General, I've got just a few little questions. I would like to first tackle the one that you said that every December the military is being called
Yes.
to assist, probably to sort of prevent, if there would be
Yes.
any. Can you sort of be a little bit specific from which December you are talking about?
When I became CDF,
That was,
I became in 2021.
oh, so that was after 2021.
After, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
No,
I
it is
don't know
impor-
before, but if there was, but during my period, I got.
Okay, now because you said when I was in the army. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I just wanted to go back to initial stages when we were talking. You said that the Commander-in-Chief in the briefing said he sent the army at Montagne.
Well, he had instructed the army before to work with the police to do any security work, including Montagne.
So, okay, so we are going back to the instructions that
Yes,
was there.
it was there.
Is that with the 10 Commandments?
Yeah, in line with the 10 Commandments, yes. 10 amendments, not commandments.
So you looked at everything.
Yeah, we're trying to get the word out. Okay, so it was in line with this 10 amendments.
10 amendments, yeah.
But you don't know on that day
Yeah.
if any orders came from the Commander-in-Chief?
No.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. Now, when this sort of responsibility is given to the Army,
Yeah.
did the Army at least was given a copy of the Prisons Act in order to be able to follow, in case there would be an incident, in case for the Army to be able to render a better service to what they were asked to do?
No, it was not.
So the Army never knew about the
No.
Prisons Act and they didn't know anything about it?
No.
Okay. So, do you think you are sending somebody in battle when he doesn't know where he's going?
Yeah, that's a deficiency.
That's a deficiency. Okay. So, now, did you receive any calls from the CP of prisons on that night?
Yeah, he called me twice.
She called you twice?
Twice, yeah. He
And
called me.
what was she, what was she talking about?
First time she called, she said there is a situation of a riot developing. The second time, he told me that the situation is worsening, and I just told her to contact the police commissioner. She should contact.
So you advised her
Advised to contact the police commissioner.
contact the police commissioner?
Yeah.
You don't know if she got the police commissioner or not?
Well, she got the police commissioner because then afterwards I contacted the police commissioner. Said, "Did you get a call? What is happening in the prison?" He told me, "Yes, he's aware." And
So the police commissioner was aware?
I was aware, yes.
And so he took over responsibility
Yes.
from you?
Yeah.
Yeah? So this one is okay. Now, when the CP is requesting support to the prisons, obviously, as a support group, when you arrive at the prison, you should be given a proper briefing of the situation.
Yes.
You should at least, all the intelligence has been carried out.
Yeah.
The army comes in with the police and whatever it is. Now they know exactly what is the situation.
Yeah.
Do you know if the forces got any proper intelligence to be able to carry out their work?
Well, I know that Major Machi and Colonel Ronda attended the briefing,
Yes.
but I am not aware exactly what was said to them. They might be in a better position to say that.
You know the structure of the prisons, don't you? Have
No.
you ever been in the prison?
No, I've been once, but very far back during the time of piracy. I haven't been recently, so I don't know inside the prison how it is. I've never been.
Were you aware that inside the prisons no CCTV cameras were working? Were you made aware of this?
I was made aware later that nothing was working.
So don't you think it would have been a very suicidal mission sending officers into a place like the prison without knowing what is happening inside there? You are just going blindfolded.
Yeah, blindfolded, but they are trained also to go into such situation. If there's no, they are trained to do that. Even though it might be a bit rough for them, but they are trained to. Right.
The only problem with the CDF is that the prisoners are not responsible for making sure that cameras work in prison. Right?
Okay.
But unfortunately, when you say soldiers are trained to enter into situations where they know nothing about what weapons are carried and so forth, and you admitted that, and then sometimes it will get rough.
Yes.
I think the right word is it gets brutal and fatal,
Yeah.
as we saw in this situation.
Yes, yeah, we saw.
Right. So, going back to the time when you were sitting in the security clusters, in the Defense Council, and you were raising this issue that you know, the possibility of riots at this prison is high. And the quick fix solution is to always call us as the military, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
Did you also raise these issues about security arrangements?
We raised these issues.
Absence of cameras and so forth.
Yes, these issues were
You raised them?
We raised, yes.
Okay. I just wanted that confirmation that you raised them.
Okay. Major General, I've got not many more. In a previous testimony here, we heard that there were 4 members of the Defense Forces that were named, and I think Commissioner Vidot just spoke about them. And according to the testimony we received, assurances were given that those 4 personnel were kept in the custody of the army camp until investigations would be carried out and then things would be done.
Yes.
Were you ever made aware of those people being kept under probably Defense Forces Headquarters custody or any other unit?
No.
So would you say that someone somewhere is telling a lie? If this was, I mean, you are the person in the unit.
Yes.
You are the person responsible for it.
Yeah,
At least you would have been.
Yes, they were working. Those were the Ibu team. No, they were at State House. They were free to go on the leave. Even the other one also was free, but at that time they were part of the working with the police. They were 1 day off, 1 day working.
So that means they were never kept in custody prior to investigation?
No, because we were not aware of these people, the names of these people. Yeah,
but it was on the 13th, I think, of January that this statement was made.
Okay.
And
we were not
also to strengthen that point, one of the families of the deceased, because they gave this evidence publicly, one of the families of the deceased said they had a meeting with the commander-in-chief at that time, the president, and he informed them that disciplinary procedures were being taken against these soldiers.
Yeah.
And one of the steps that had been taken is that they had been detained to make sure whilst the investigation is ongoing. And you are saying you have no knowledge as the CDF of any soldier who was detained as part of investigations on what happened at Montagne Posée.
Okay. But it gives me, CDF, it gives me the impression, a sad impression normally it gives me, is that so many things were not discussed with you as the CDF of Seychelles People's Defense Forces. You were sort of omitted from many things, from knowing many things. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
And how did you feel? You know, as you know, I respect you as the boss where I was working before. How did you
I think you respect him as CDF, not your boss.
Well, I would not say my feeling.
Okay. Now, the last thing. You know, you said that in the past there was a riot before.
Yeah.
In 2016.
Yes.
That was mentioned in the thingy. And obviously there was one person that lost his life. That was Mr. Banan. Now, after this incident, there was an inquest that was carried out in Seychelles. I think it was in one of the higher courts here. Magistrate court.
No, it was carried out by the...
An inquest was carried out. Yeah? And in that inquest, there were quite a few recommendations that was made by the judge who carried out this inquest. And one of the recommendations put forward, if I may, it stated it is stated here, it says it is clear that the presence of external forces, and at that time they were referring to PSSW, caused increased agitation amongst the inmates. I would recommend that the Ministry of Home Affairs look into the possibility of establishing a separate security force for the prison authority rather than relying on the use of police force during situations of conflict at the prisons. So I think that was a very strong recommendation that was made to the authorities in order to be able to tackle future
incident.
Obviously, were you aware that there was this recommendation?
No.
So you were never made aware of this recommendation?
No.
I mean, the prison authorities, obviously this is part and parcel of documentations that would guide them in their work. Now, personally, I would ask you, had you known about this recommendation, what would you have done?
Well, I would have most prevented any soldiers going to intervene, though there might have been other decisions taken. Yeah.
And now, before last, yes, you said that the weapons issued on the day were shotguns.
Yes.
And certain
9mm.
9mm Glock
pistol.
Was there a rifle called the M40 that was issued?
No, that's
or that was part of the forces that were
M4 that's being used by the team.
Sorry, M4?
M4, that's the team.
Not M40, M4.
M4, yes.
When you say M4, what is the caliber of the M4, the bullet?
5.62.
5.56, no?
62.
5.56,
yeah.
5.56 millimeters.
Millimeter.
So you confirm that there were?
Yes, they were.
I think there were two of them. Do you confirm that there were two of those rifles deployed?
I cannot confirm the number deployed, but I confirm.
Because we got it from...
they use, but I know they use this type of rifle.
So it was two M4s, 5.56 millimeters.
Yeah.
Thank you, Major General. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Vic. When you deploy military officers, just direct answers, please. Do they wear body cameras?
No.
Do they sometimes wear masks?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. Do you have a policy on body cameras?
No, we are thinking of using it in the future.
Okay,
We've
so
been
you're
given
already
directive.
thinking
Yeah,
about
we are using it. We will be using it in the future for any operations. Yeah, that's
because body cameras have been found to be helpful in terms of reviewing.
Yeah, for evidence.
Yeah, then on your website, I must commend you that you have some of the pieces of legislation there, and that is a good thing. But perhaps you need to also make available copies of your policies, regulations, and other pieces of legislation. There is the Defence Forces Act, but I think you need to, it's part of the duty to be transparent.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that the civilians are able to see what policies guide your work and how they can hold you accountable.
Definitely. See, since I took office, I'm the one who started to put this. But the policies, some of them are very old, and we are amending some, and definitely we will
I think the commissioners have other questions, but before we go, let's, I think, direct now.
Yes.
Because we have another witness outside.
Just one question I've got to
Sure.
ask. You said that the soldiers that you deployed do not carry body counts, but do you know whether the IBU or those who are attached to the police carry body counts?
Sometimes, yes, they did carry.
They do.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, thank you very much, CDF. I know that we have another session which we are going to take off camera. I'm going to quickly ask the media and anyone in the room, apart from the commission, to evacuate the room, and if you can do it as fast as is possible, so that we may catch up on time.
Yeah.